Hola, soy Deske, dan kali ini saya akan mereview sebuah game yang dimainkan oleh pecatur belia Indonesia di chess.com, yaitu Satria Duta, melawan Grandmaster asal Portugal dengan nama akun Vial777. Satria Duta masih berumur 12 tahun, tapi permainannya sudah setara Grandmaster. Dia juga adalah salah satu dari beberapa pecatur Indonesia yang pernah mengalahkan Levi Rosman alias Gotham Chess. Dalam game berikut, dia bermain sangat baik dan mengalahkan sang Grandmaster hanya dalam 17 langkah. Satria Duta sebagai putih D4, lalu D5, dan gajah F4 tipikal dari London System. E6, E3, gajah D6, kuda F3, dan gajah makan gajah. Pion makan, menteri D6, menyerang pion, tetapi tujuan utama adalah untuk menyerang raja dan pion B. G3 mempertahankan pion F, dan menteri B4 skak. Kuda C3, menteri makan pion, lalu kuda melompat ke B5, mengancam forking yang akan memenangkan benteng. Menteri B4 skak, menteri menutup skak, menteri mengambil menteri skak, dan raja makan. Kembali dengan ancaman untuk melakukan forking, jadi kuda ke A6 harus dimainkan. Gajah ke D3, di sini sebuah kesalahan. C6 dimainkan oleh Grandmaster Vial, dan Satria Duta menaruh kuda di D6 skak. Raja menyerang kuda dan kuda mengambil gajah skak. Benteng mengambil kuda, kemudian gajah makan kuda. Pion makan, lalu benteng di B1 menguasai file B. Dan pada posisi ini hitam melakukan kesalahan. Dia mendorong F6. Ini mengizinkan Satria Duta meletakkan benteng di baris ke-7 skak, dan hitam melakukan blunder. Dia menaruh raja di D6. Satria Duta langsung menyelesaikan lawannya melalui langkah brilian kuda ke5, mengancam skakmat, dan sang Grandmaster Portugal langsung menyerah hanya dalam 17 langkah. Tetapi mari kita lihat mengapa dia menyerah. Kalau pion mengambil kuda, pion makan skakmat. Kalau benteng D8, kuda F7 skakmat. Kalau benteng ke C7 mengadu benteng, benteng makan benteng. Di sini raja makan benteng akan dibalas kuda F7 mendapatkan benteng. Jadi langkah terbaik adalah pion makan kuda. Dan di sini benteng makan pion mengancam skakmat. Jadi pion makan pion harus dimainkan. Benteng A8 membuat kedua perwira hitam tidak bisa bergerak. H5 benteng B1, dan setelah raja E7, benteng B8, raja F7, benteng F8 skak, raja G6, diikuti dengan benteng makan kuda, dan putih akan menang dengan sangat mudah. Oke, demikianlah video untuk pagi ini, dan selamat berhari.
Once again, a woman's left unsatisfied.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Right.
Minions have spawned. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. slain. An enemy is dominating. Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy double kill. Turret shield will fall soon. Enemy triple kill.
Yeah.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down. Shut down. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Killing spree. kill. Aced. Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Kaliku semua saya ada sore hari ini P300 tahu ceritanya sudah konsep, tapi ini konsepnya sih masih simpel-simpel aja ya. Soal mobilnya, lihat videonya. Kiku. Nah, oke. Ini dia mobilnya sudah ada di depan kita. Langsung kita lihat dulu kondisinya ya, Lek ya. Es warnanya silver. Mobil ini bekas Pertamina di Sumatera. Agar satu persatu apa yang sudah tak kasih lihat akhir ini, saya banyak reviewnya. Nah, di simple tuh, Lek. Belum disepet kayak yang ini nih, karena kemarin belum sempat. Nah, oke. Langsung dari sisi depan. Buat pale-pale yang lampunya agak kuning ke sini, bawa main ke sini, Lek. Tak bersihkan, nanti bisa jadi bersih. Lah, juga lampunya juga masih bagus, cuma sisi atasnya aja yang agak kuning ya, Lek ya. Nah, ini yang pertama menurut saya itu bakalan nyenggol gitu ya, Lek, ke apa ini namanya? Fender, tapi ke bumper. Ternyata enggak. Dia pakai ring 20 pas. Hanya kadang pas mungkin di belokan yang agak nikung gitu, dia nanti agak sedikit mentok kayak gitu, Lek. Tadi nanti ini sama cover itu lengkap. Terus mangkokan di sini. Nah, ini sama cover itu lengkap. Terus saya beberapa. Nah, terus coba makanya tadi tak kombinasikan ya, Lek, tak pasang ke mobil ini. Bak seperti ini harganya sekitar 8,5 jutaan ya, Lek ya, untuk Nissan Navara ini. Nah, di stop lamp juga ada, di stop lampnya. Lihat nih, lampu-lampunya masih oke, masih bagus. Ban-bannya masih tebel-tebel ya, Lek. Pokoknya Pak Lek nanti tinggal gaspol gitu, tinggal pakai tapnya. Ini mungkin kemarin ya, Lek, dikasih baut gitu, mungkin biar baut bumpernya kenceng gitu, tapi belum dibenerin. Lah, ini nanti yang disepet dari semuter bodi ini, cuman ini yang kita sepet. Iya, lupa, ini cover fog lamp kemarin sudah kita belikan yang punyanya VL ya, Lek, yang chrome, biar karet. Ini kotor, Lek, cuman mau dipasang-pasangi ban, pasangi fender, roof rack, langsung tak review. Pilih dulu kilometernya 85.000. Kita punya beberapa mobil ini ya, Lek ya, Navara ini, cuman yang ini sudah kita pilih untuk full varian. Kasihnya mesinnya halus pol, mantap. Semua yang beli mobil di sini itu sudah dan Nissan juga Jadi buat yang di belakang juga tetap buatin ya, tetap adem kayak gitu le. Nah, ini dia nih ruang mesinnya le, Nissan Navara NP300 SL tahun 2016. Jadi emang mesinnya agak penuh ya le ya. Ini kemana nanti kalau sudah deal sama Pak Lek, kalau Pak Lek ada yang minat sama mobil ini nanti tak salon ulang. Jadi makin kincling. Ini ada tambahannya apa, filternya ya Lek ya. Kayak gitu. Udah mantep pol kayak gitu.
The stage is set.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Is a piece of my soul. Each shot is a piece of me.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned. An enemy has been slain.
If I get this outfit dirty, I'm going to be so annoyed. Through my work, shall transcend. Each move will be a dance. Anyone. It is the performance that kills.
Enemy double kill.
Each performance is the last, but I lie every time. I want to feel everything. Makes it so I do. Which is the secret weapon. It whispers for us to act.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down.
Inspire me. This is love. I wonder what they think when they see me. Is watching. There's a certain
Shut down.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. I like a violent.
Has been slain.
My genius will be understood eventually.
Turret plating will soon fall. Your turret has been destroyed. Ally has been slain.
I cannot be good. I must be perfection. They are puppets. I pull the strings, and then they dance. When they find you, they will cry. I am pure. My work is pure.
enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
This performance needs more. Let's start the show. Your life had no value before me.
An ally has been slain.
Beauty. The ecstasy of opening night.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
In turn, I bloom like a flower in the dawn.
Enemy killing spree.
I am a slave to this passion.
Your turret has been destroyed.
My work asks questions. It never has answers.
An enemy has been slain.
My critics my best only during
Turret.
the ecstasy. voice. The dancer without legs. I am misunderstood. They will dance, they will sing, they will die. This is my calling. I must wait until the composition
An
is
ally has been slain. Shut down.
my clients expect the best.
Has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
My theater. accountant. How can I be expected to work? I get nervous before every performance, but I need that feeling.
Ya lek, tak tutup sih. Sok kabeh. Los pokoknya lek, mobilnya mantul, mobilnya mantep, buat pale-pale semua. Sing kepengen modif atau pengen beli mobil-mobil kayak gini, jangan lupa WA saya di nomor 081 289 808 115. Nah nih, tuh di sana juga masih ada. Itu mobil Pak Supri Nganjuk itu ya, Lek. Banyak kan pale-pale semua yang kepengen sama mobil ini nih. Jadi kemarin ini mau dirubah, mau digantengin, Lek. Kayak gitu. Ayo, sini. Ini soalnya sudah laku, coy. Ini juga sudah laku, coy. Itu tinggal Navara, masih ada 2 unit, 3 unit sama yang full variasi. Jadi buat pale-pale semua, sehingga pengen kamu mobil-mobil kayak gini ya, tinggal nanti WA saya 081 289 808 115. Nah, Ranger itu punya Pak Supri mau dibuat model Raptor. Mungkin sekitar 1-2 minggu lagi Pak Le bisa lihat hasilnya, mantap. Kayak gitu ya, Le. Buat pale-pale semua.
Let us amuse the gods.
This land will never prosper.
Who would like to
by
hear a
land
story? Who would enjoy a tale of the gods? There has always been war.
What do you see?
Kirain
Kalah dong. Pasti dinyatakan kalah sebelum bermain.
kena mental duluan.
Kena mental. Duh. Kalau Primus suka nggak kelihatan siapa yang jalan.
Ini ya giliran jalannya.
Iya,
Itu
iya,
yang kadang
terlalu
bikin
cepat.
suka kalahnya gara-gara gitu. Gara-gara
Benar-benar
lupa.
anti blunder. Benar-benar butuhkan minuman itu.
Astaga, sumpah nggak ngeliat itu menterinya diancam beneran. Astaga naga. Astaga Tuhan. Astaga.
Masih bisa. Waktu kalah waktu
Astaga
soalnya.
naga.
Kalah cepet. Cek. Necifu. Necifu winning. Waktunya waktu. Ya.
Astaga naga.
Lambat.
Oke, kembali lagi di channel. Kali ini adalah Chevrolet Trooper yang tahun 90. Udah facelift lampu kotak ya, awalnya dia lampu bulat. Dan ini mau dijual juga sama ownernya. Posisi mobil di Bandung, plat D juga ya. Mau dijual 75 juta nego. Untuk PKB-nya udah murah banget nih, 286.000. Untuk mesinnya, jadi bahkan sampai blok mesinnya tuh masih blok mesin Isuzu, karena ini juga mesin dipakai di Isuzu Panther generasi pertama. 2200 cc diesel, masih teknologi OHV ya. Outputnya juga masih standar banget, 61 horsepower. Torsinya dia 130 Nm. Kecil ya untuk mesin diesel 2200 cc. Di sini ruang mesin sudah dicat ya, begitu juga kap mesin, tapi Isuzu turn. Untuk pelek masih pelek kaleng di sini dengan ban Bristol yang emang tipenya buat Jeep. Profil ban sennya segitiganya. Bahan-bahannya kulit ya. Armrestnya ini didorong. Ada asbak. Door handle di sini standar ya. Di sini ada untuk saklar lampu utama ya. Jadi kalau ditarik ini lampu kecil, ditarik 2 kali lampu besar. Di sini ada Sekarang di kontak on, tunggu sampai indikator glow-nya mati. Karena kalau keseringan di startup glow belum mati, artinya bisa selak. Nah ini dia. Odo 363.000, di bawahnya trip. Ini untuk reset trip. Setirnya model 3 palang, udah kelihatan modern ya setirnya untuk mobil tahun 90. Yang unik hazard yang biasa di atas, di sini ya, di samping nih ditarik. Di kanan nih saklar lampu sennya. Tahun 90-an dulu ya, ada indikator-indikator. Di sini altimeter. Di sini untuk ini ya, kemiringan derajat mobil. Ini sensor termometer nih. Kerennya lagi ada outside temperatur. Jadi di pencet to indoor, ditarik to outdoor. Di bawahnya sini ada untuk tekanan oli, ada indikator bensin dan suhu mesin. AC pengatur arah semburan lengkap, dan uniknya, saya matiin dulu ya mesinnya. Uniknya di sini ya, untuk pengatur arah semburan ke kaki itu bukan pakai labeling, tapi pakai tulisan foot ke kaki, ini ke wajah, dan ini ke keduanya. Ada front defogger juga, ada heaternya juga defogger, dan untuk wiper belakang. Ini head unitnya ya, tambahan di bawah posisinya. Untuk park brake masih yang model tarik. Nah ini kelebihannya nih ya, 4 wheel drive. Ini ada tuas untuk low gear atau 2 wheel drive ya, 2 wheel drive. Di sini transmisi 5 speed, ada jam analog juga nih di sini. Jam digital maksud saya, adalah chip penyimpanan terbuka, dan di sini hand grip, di sini day night view. Sun visor si driver juga. Ketutup laci ini out dari ini ya. Untuk handle standar plastik, bahannya bahan karpet ya, yang 5 pintu. Out dari ada hooknya nih, bisa direbahin terpisah mestinya. Tromol dari luar ya. Dan yang unik di pintu belakang, ini di sini ada rear wiper dan bisa dibuka. Ini sisi 3/4 nya. Ini bisa makanya ke atas dan juga perempatnya nih. Ini kalau dicongkel, nah ini. Kalau dulu kan kijang kotak dulu nggak bisa dibuka, ini jadi bisa dibuka full, porsi 1/4 maupun porsi 3/4 nya, begitu. Dashboardnya oleh. Terima kasih sudah menonton.
Jadi karena Toyota sukses dengan kijangnya di tahun 1986, nah waktu itu Isuzu itu berpikir, ini diceritain sama teman gue yang orang Isuzu ya, dulu katanya itu bagaimana kalau kita bikin mobil yang bisa mengalahkan kijang. Terus akhirnya pas mau milih nama gitu kan, kijang itu kita kalahkan dengan nama apa nih yang kelihatannya catchy dan keren gitu. Kepikiran nama harimau, singa, macan gitu ya, walaupun akhirnya macan dipakai sama Porsche, dan akhirnya terpilihlah nama Panther. Kenapa Panther? Karena untuk menerkam kijang ya kan. Kalau ada kijang lewat, ada Panther lewat, pasti dimakan tuh kijangnya. Nah, akhirnya ini dia Isuzu Panther yang pertama kali di launching tahun 1991. Dan mobil ini sampai sekarang itu masih ada yang jual barunya, meskipun sudah nggak diproduksi lagi. Jadi tinggal ngabisin stok ya. Nggak tahu sampai video ini diterbitin masih ada nggak tuh mobilnya yang dijual barunya. Kebetulan mobil yang kita bahas ini adalah mobil tahun 96 dan sudah refreshment. Jadi mesinnya dia sudah 2500 cc dan ada beberapa ubahan yang membuatnya semakin apa ya? Semakin di depan ya, kayak motor ya. Ya, seperti apa mobil ini? Jangan lupa untuk lebih kencang, larinya enak. Terus harus lebih irit, cek. Harus lebih nyaman? Iya, mobil ini jauh lebih nyaman dibandingkan kijang. Suspensinya, peredaman kabinnya meskipun mesinnya bergetar dan berisik. Dan juga dia lebih lega di dalamnya, ditambah tampilannya juga lebih garang gitu. Jadi pas kita lihat tuh ini perpaduan kayak apa ya? Kayak sebuah SUV tapi dalam bentuk minibus. Jadi kalau kita lihat nih ya, ini kalau misalkan bodinya kayak Pajero tahun 90-an, Isuzu Total AC. Yoi. Jadi memang mobil ini juga bebas dempul ya. Dari depan sampai ke belakang. Lebih modern. Mobil atau high grade itu punya bumper yang berbeda. Terus juga pakai ya Pak. Kayak ada Royal, ada New Royal, sama Grand Royal. Banyak banget sih. Gue heran kenapa Isuzu bikin line up itu segitu banyaknya. Ada yang Deluxe lah, ada yang ya itulah pokoknya, banyak lah pokoknya Panther itu. Oke, ini kapas ini berat sekali karena besi semua. Ini lubangnya di sini. Oke, mesinnya ini dia lebih padat dibandingkan dengan Kijang yang kemarin karena mesinnya ini 2500 cc. Jadi ya beda 1000 cc. Sama kelihatannya itu kalau kita foto bagian ininya doang ya. Itu dia dibikin dari molding plastik. Kelihatannya kayak mesin-mesin zaman sekarang, keren. Mesinnya ini sudah direct injection, tapi belum common rail, ya zaman dulu sih ya. Dan kalau misalkan solarnya habis atau solarnya tinggal sedikit, itu kita mesti pompa di sini. Capek juga, makanya kalau naik mobil ini, usahakan solarnya jangan tipis-tipis, jangan tinggal 1/4 kurang, kalau bisa lebih lah dari 1/4. Kalau udah mau hampir setengah kurang gitu ya, langsung isi solar. Oke. Oh, ini masih ada loh tulisannya loh, ada sedimentator, data perawatan mesin 4JA1. Dan mesin 4JA1 ini masih dipakai sampai sekarang. Jadi Isuzu Traga itu masih pakai mesin 4JA1 yang dipakai sama Isuzu Panther ini. Luar biasa loh. Oke. Terus ke samping, mobil ini kalau kita lihat dari samping gitu ya, itu nggak kelihatan seperti mobil minibus yang dikaroseri dari mobil pickup. Ya, bodinya tuh kelihatan solid. Ini ada motor lewat dulu bentar. Nah, cuman ada satu hal yang menurut gua agak turn down sih. Di bagian sini tuh ada sambungan ya, sambungan las di sini. Ya, ini adalah sambungan kalau misalkan yang versi pickupnya itu kan sampai sini doang. Ya ini kelihatan gitu, jadinya kurang enak aja gitu dilihat. Kalau misalkan dibikin lurus gitu ya, nggak usah pakai sambungan-sambungan gini, itu orang nggak akan ngira kalau ini mobil yang dibangun dari basis pickup. Ini mobil kalau kita lihat dari samping itu tuh bentuknya pas, kayak bener-bener mobil yang dibangun sebagai basis minibus gitu. Bukan mobil yang dibangun dari pickup terus dikasih bodi belakang. Dan pintunya ini suaranya khas kalau kita buka. Nah, pintunya enteng. Dan yang gua nggak suka dari Panther itu kalau kita buka pintunya, gitu ya. Itu bukanya itu nggak lebar banget gitu. Jadi bukanya cuma separuh gitu doang. Kalau misalkan ibu hamil itu masuk Panther tuh agak sedikit susah karena buka pintunya nggak lebar-lebar banget gitu, nggak bisa sampai huruf L. Terus di belakang dia itu masih pakai per daun, tapi mobil ini punya suspensi itu yang sangat nyaman untuk zamannya. Bahkan nggak tahu ya, menurut gua ya, dibandingkan dengan Panther yang generasi 2000 ke atas, gua lebih suka bandingannya Panther yang versi ini. Lebih lembut dibandingkan yang gitu. Cuma memang ya sama-sama steeringnya nggak enak sih. Terus juga mobil ini depan sudah pakai rem cakram dan yang belakangnya masih pakai tromol. Kalau kalian beli yang versi high grade yang bannya lebih gede, yang bentuknya kayak jeep banget gitu, itu remnya agak kurang gimana gitu karena bannya itu terlalu besar. Terus Panther ini kalau misalkan beberapa mobil itu kan biasanya naruh emblem di belakang buat ngasih tahu grade-nya apa. Kalau ini dikasih stiker di sini. Nah terus bagian belakangnya ini plek-plekan banget sama Kijang kotak sebenarnya ya. Desainnya sama persis kaca, pintunya cuma separoh. Nah cuman bagian bempernya ini beda. Kalau Kijang kotak kan bempernya kan lurus gitu ya. Ini masih ada bemper yang naik seperti ini. Terus ada footstepnya di bagian sini. Nah sama dia tuh curvy, jadi kelihatannya beda banget kalau kita sandingin sama Kijang kotak. Padahal secara garis-garis desainnya itu mirip-mirip. Nah, pintunya kita buka. Nah, ini kebetulan kursi belakang sudah dimodifikasi. Jadi harusnya dia punya bagian kursi belakang itu yang ngadep-ngadepan, kanan sama kirinya. Dan bagian belakangnya juga kursinya lebih luas dibandingkan dengan Toyota Kijang kotak. Cuma lucunya, bagian belakangnya ini kan dia gede banget ya. Jadi sebenarnya kalau dulu Panther itu atau Isuzu itu dia mau pasang kursi yang tegak di bagian belakang ini, itu dia bisa banget gitu kan. Tapi sayangnya nggak dilakukan itu sama Isuzunya. Terus sama seperti Kijang, di bagian sini juga door trimnya itu dia sama seperti door trim depannya. Dan mobil-mobil zaman dulu itu suka dikasih plastik ya door trimnya ya. Kenapa? Biar nggak cepat kotor. Sama kalau kita duduk di belakang, dia bisa kita buka manual seperti ini dan kita bisa tutup sendiri tanpa harus minta dibantuin sama orang dari luar. Oke, ini di sini ada emblemnya masih komplit ya. 2.5L 2500 cc direct injection. Terus ini ada logo apa ya? Gue nggak ngerti. Ini kebetulan lampunya harusnya nggak kayak gini, dia ada modifan. Nah, sekarang kita masuk ke dalam, yuk. Ya, dibandingkan dengan Toyota Kijang kemarin, interior Panther ini terasa lebih modern, lebih mewah. Kayak misalkan gini, desain speedometernya. Speedometernya ini dia dikasih gede seperti ini, terus dia agak mencolot keluar. Nah, dia ini desainnya tuh bener-bener nggak mengganggu pemandangan. Pas kita lihat tuh bener-bener bisa terlihat jelas. Jadi clear banget kita ngeliat ya, karena desainnya.
Our performance begins.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Everyone wears a mask. I just chose to create my own.
Minions have spawned.
I must wait until the composition is perfect.
First blood. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Never has answers. is killing. Each bullet is a soul.
An ally has been slain.
Before the curtain goes up. Which is the lie? The mask or my face? Death should never be quick. It should be enough. Death is certain, but killing doesn't happen. Smile. Everyone is watching. I serve a discerning mind.
Ally has been slain.
When they see me.
Has been slain. Mortality is truly divine.
I orchestrate death. The world is cruel. It doesn't have to be ugly.
All right.
Shut down.
Move without the euphoria of performance. They're gonna live until they die. Inspire me.
An enemy has been slain.
Fabulous. Let's start the show. It's so difficult to work under these conditions. The atmosphere. Shall we dance?
Turret plate will fall soon.
Ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree. Your turret has been destroyed.
Open at night. The ecstasy of killing.
An enemy has been slain. You are slain.
I bloom in the dawn. I will not suffer this ugliness. In the moment before fire, they will dance. They will sing.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
It is only when the gun fires that I am alive. I have risen from the filth and muck. I am the lotus blossom. I never hurt anyone.
An ally has been slain.
That kills. I was paid to put on a killer show.
Kamu dulunya kirim pada aku kan.
Dance. Only during the performance. Everyone is watching. The work is what matters.
An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Only to the audience do I show my
Dominating.
the trigger on a loaded weapon, it whispers for us to act. That's like the moment before the curtain goes up. It's very simple. When I shoot, they dance.
Has been slain.
I am a slave to this passion.
Rampage. Destroyed an inhibitor.
Critics are usually short-lived. I swear each performance is the last, but I love
An enemy has been slain.
the moment. I get nervous before, but I need that.
An ally has been slain. Destroyed a turret. Legendary. An enemy has been slain.
Di pasang
Art requires a certain cruelty.
Your team has destroyed Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Dominating.
dia dibikin maju seperti ini. Terus juga desain setirnya. Nah, kenapa nih setirnya dipegang tuh enak ya? Di sini tuh ada curve-nya di sini. Gitu ya. Dan kemudian ukurannya pas dan posisi duduknya ini juga lumayan enak. Dibandingin Kijang yang kemarin ya, ini setirnya tuh lebih tegak gitu. Jadi rasanya lebih kayak mobil. Kalau Kijang tuh masih agak landai. Jadi kayak bawa mobil bak atau kayak bawa mobil yang bannya itu sama mesinnya di bawah kita. Nah, terus dia punya lubang AC, ini yang masih dipakai sama Panther yang zaman sekarang. Dan sebelah kanan kirinya ini ada ventilasi buat nutup sama ngebukanya. Di bawahnya sini ada panel AC yang sangat besar, tapi dia cuma ada kecepatan sama temperatur. Di bawahnya lagi, ini ada asbak sama ada lighter. Dan di bagian sini ada audionya. Jadi kalau misalkan mobil tua-tua itu kan biasanya AC-nya taruh bawah gitu ya, kayak tempelan. Kalau ini langsung menyatu di dashboard seperti ini. Dan biasanya Panther ini AC-nya dingin banget. Jadi kalau kita pakai lama, itu nanti bagian sininya itu suka ngembun, suka basah. Terus ada quirks and features yang menarik dari Panther ini. Pertama, dia ini punya bagian di sini itu soft touch. Iya, jadi dia punya interior yang sudah soft touch meskipun cuma di bagian sini doang sampai bagian sini. Terus biasanya mobil zaman dulu itu kan tempat penyimpanan itu sedikit-sedikit. Mobil ini tempat penyimpanannya banyak. Contoh, misalkan pertama di sini ini ada coak sedikit buat naruh sesuatu gitu ya. Terus di sini dia ada laci penyimpanan cukup besar. Kemudian ke bagian driver, dia memang pintunya ini nggak ada tempat buat naruh-naruh barang, tapi di bagian sebelah sini itu ada coak sedikit buat taruh mungkin kayak koin gitu ya. Sama di bagian sini juga ada tempat buat naruh barang. Nah, di sini tengah-tengah sini ada konsol yang sangat besar dan sangat praktikal sekali. Pertama, dia ada 2 buah cup holder, terus ada tempat naruh barang di sini. Tapi kalau misalkan kita butuh lebih, nah pertama di sini ada ruang penyimpanan yang cukup lega. Terus di belakangnya ada ruang penyimpanan lagi yang cukup lega. Di sini kita akan menemukan tempat penyimpanan lagi yang cukup lega. Ini sayangnya nggak bisa jadi armrest ya. Terus di sini ada asbak di bagian belakang. Sama di sini kita bisa naruh sesuatu lagi. Jadi ruang penyimpanan itu sangat banyak untuk zamannya. Kemudian di bawah lubang AC sini dia ada tempat buat naruh speaker. Di sini ada tempat buat naruh tombol-tombol. Ini kebetulan dari taruh sama tombol-tombol buat lampu. Di sebelah kiri sini ada buat defogger. Terus di sini ini ada choke-nya. Nah, untuk rem tangan, dia sama seperti Kijang, masih model tarik seperti ini. Jadi kalau mau rem tangan tinggal tarik sini ya. Terus ke bagian atas sini, dia ada aksesoris tambahan. Ini buat naro tisu, sama buat naro mungkin kartu-kartu dan STNK. Kita lihat STNK-nya ya, pajaknya berapa nih? Pajaknya 551.000, murah sekali. Kayak pajak motor, motornya lebih mahal sekarang. Sama ada lampu 2 di sini ya, udah mati ternyata.
Belakang itu mas.
Oh, oke. Mesti pencet tombol belakang dulu baru yang ininya nyala. Tapi udah nyala, ini nggak bisa mati. Oke, ya sudah lah ya. Ini kebetulan karena nggak ada kamera mundurnya dan head unitnya bukan double din, dia tambah layar sendiri ya di sini ya, biar praktis. Kemudian di depan sini itu ada jam yang memang letaknya agak jauh, tapi ini sangat jelas kelihatan. Kemudian untuk varian Grand Royal ini dia sudah punya power window tapi cuma 2 doang di depan dan desainnya tuh aneh gitu ya. Ini tuh kayak ditempel gitu aja, nggak ditaruh di sandaran tangan gitu. Yuk sekarang kita jalan aja. Kita atur dulu kursinya, starter. Oke, yuk jalan. Nah, udah power steering ya, setirnya enteng. Wah, silau banget. Sun visornya copot, silau sekali nih. Oke, nah ini ya, jalannya ini kan nggak bagus nih ya. Tapi mobil ini, itu suspensinya masih enak untuk zamannya. Oke, lanjut. Dan larinya, ini nih, mantap. Oh, tuh, gitu doang kan kena lubang. Kemudian mobil itu suaranya, itu dari luar tuh berisik banget. Iya asli. Pas dari luar tuh gua taruh depan, belum gua matiin mesin, gua ke dalam ngambil charger HP, itu luar biasa berisiknya. Tapi pas di dalam sini, ya masih berisik, tapi nggak seberisik itu gitu. Dan getarannya itu ya, itu dari setir, transmisi, bodi, sama kursinya itu lumayan berasa ya. Makanya meskipun mesinnya lebih kencang dibanding Kijang, lebih irit dibanding Kijang, irit bisa 112 sampai 114 lah ya. Eits, jatuh. Ya. Iritnya tuh bisa sampai 112, 114, apalagi pada zamannya Panther itu kan isinya solar. Solar itu zaman dulu itu cuma 500 perak. Jadi murah banget. Makanya Panther dulu itu iklannya cering-cering bus-bus. Larinya kenceng, terus juga cering-cering. Dari tutup bensin ya, itu bisa keluar duit, receh, cering-cering-cering. Jakarta Bali berapa? Berapa ribu? Ya itulah, kalian coba komen di bawah, Jakarta Bali berapa ribu ya. Emang irit banget pada zaman dulu itu. Udah irit, solarnya murah. Panther tuh luar biasa. Tapi ya, beberapa orang tuh ada yang menikmati suaranya Panther loh. Katanya garang gitu. Ya sih, Panther kan ngaum ya. Ngaum gitu ya. Suara diesel. Oeng gitu. Larinya sih boleh untuk mobil zaman dulu ya. Panther ini dia punya dua buah mesin. Yang pertama mesin 2300 cc yang pertama kali keluar, itu tenaga cuma 76 horsepower dan torsinya 140 Nm. Nah, konon katanya mesin itu lebih badak dibandingkan dengan mesin 500 cc. Katanya bisa sampai 500.000 lebih itu dia belum sampai turun mesin gitu. Dan Panther ini nggak jarang lihat yang kilometernya itu udah sampai 9999 terus kembali lagi ke nol. Ini kilometernya sudah 101.000, tapi nggak tahu ini beneran 100.000 atau kembali ke nol ya. Panther ini di sini juga masih banyak, apalagi waktu kita ke Lampung ya. Waduh, itu yang namanya Panther itu lewat Panther lagi. Itu luar biasa, banyak banget Panther di jalan. Cuma sayangnya, Panther itu nggak dilanjutin lagi pengembangannya. Padahal Panther tuh bisa aja nge-branding si Isuzu Mu-X gitu jadi Panther, kayak misalkan Kijang Innova gitu kan. Kijang Innova ya sebenarnya udah nggak ada Kijang-Kijangnya lagi. Sebenarnya kalau dijual di luar negeri itu kan namanya Toyota Innova, bukan Toyota Kijang. Nah, sebenarnya bisa juga gitu Isuzu bikin Isuzu Panther Mu-X gitu kan. Jadi di luar negeri dijual dengan nama Mu-X, tapi di Indonesia itu dijual dengan nama Panther Mu-X. Ya, biar ada sejarahnya gitulah ya. Nyambung. Mobil ini kalau kita pakai cruising di sekitar 40, 60, ya 80 agak lumayan lah ya. Itu tuh enak. Jadi suspensinya tuh ngayunnya tuh lembut gitu kan. Terus mobilnya juga cukup stabil. Tapi kalau kita bawa 80 ke atas, waduh, baru deh berasa nggak enaknya. Mobilnya tuh berasa banget lompat-lompatnya. Sama setirnya, ini loose banget. Jadi memang mobil ini tidak diciptakan untuk kecepatan tinggi. Terus posisi duduknya, mobil ini tuh posisi duduknya tuh ya biasa aja. Tapi ketolong sama kursinya yang empuk dan tebal-tebal. Tapi headrestnya, ya ini gue agak aneh, dia bentuknya rata lurus gitu ya, nggak ada ke depannya sama sekali. Jadi kalau kita nyender tuh ya aneh banget gitu kalau dipakai buat nyender. Oke, jadi itulah video kita soal Isuzu Panther Grand Royal tahun 96. Buat teman-teman yang punya Panther generasi ini 91 sampai 99 kalau nggak salah, 99 sampai 2000 gitu ya. Bisa komen di bawah seperti apa pengalamannya, bagaimana memeliharanya, dan juga mungkin teman-teman masih ada yang pakai ini sampai sekarang, bisa komen di bawah. Saya Hanif, sampai jumpa di vlog berikutnya. Terima kasih telah menonton. Bye.
Welcome everybody. D4 E6 is kind of an invitation for white to go back to the French. White plays knight to C3. This is known as the classical French. Maybe back then it was known as the I'm developing a knight to the center of the board French, defending my pawn. And black plays C5. Now it's pretty interesting because nowadays C5 is known as a suboptimal move, because here there is just a very quick kind of refutation of this setup where basically didn't just that you he takes D5, takes, and even take again. And basically the problem is that you've just given yourself this weakness when all the dust settles. Now, I'm sure Mr. Marshall didn't just, He wasn't just going to lose this pawn. Maybe he was going to play d4 and attack the knight. Maybe he was going to play knight f6 and kind of wait to recapture the pawn on c5. But it's pretty well known you cannot play c5 against knight c3, but you can play c5 against knight d2. Knight d2 in the French is known as the Tarrasch variation, or Tarrasch variation, center file. And dc5 here may be possible, but white just develops calmly. Bishop e2, knight f6, white castles. Bishop in the French is known as the Tarrasch variation. Have one trade, and again, dc5 here may be possible, but white just develops calmly. Bishop e2, knight f6, white castles. Bishop e7, bishop g5, and short castle. So both players have now more or less completed the kind of necessary developing moves. They've gotten their knights out. They utilize your pressure on this now isolated pawn. This would be a position if white wants to make this pawn very strong. He wants to reinforce it, make the right trades. Does that make a lesson for you? And white plays knight d4, trying to take advantage of the, think about that. He just took. Now he transfers the knight, right, to the open square. Now, here, again, this is a situation where you got to think about the future. If you snap take here, then white develops the queen and now guards this. If you go to try to win this pawn back, maybe white's just going to go b4. And all of a sudden, you're, like, running out of moves. Now we get knight c4, we get bishop c5, inviting the knight to take the bishop. Now, normally, giving up a knight for a bishop without a good reason is not recommended. In this case, there are multiple good reasons. Intertwining, very small changes in the... Maybe the queen can transfer out this way. That is how the board changes when trades happen. But when you lose your queen, losing a queen is bad. That's the only thing you learned from this video? Mazel tov. Queen to d6. Out of the pin, defending the pawn. White goes back to h3 because white doesn't want to get the bishop taken. Now, rook a e8. Basically, just taking a moment to get the only piece that has not moved yet to join the party. All right, get over there. Stop being a wallflower, right? Is that what that's called? Frank Marshall is saying, okay, I'm going to pin the knight to the queen, and then I'm going to play d4. And you're going to have a problem, right? So that's why we get bishop takes f6, an immediate reaction by white. But the thing is, that pawn trade way back when solidified the center, and now we see the point. Now the rook is going to get involved. Now white plays rook to d1, okay? Queen to c5, increasing the pressure. You want to go d4. You say, why? Well, Levy, you just said he was going to go d4. Why didn't he do it? Because in chess, my favorite concepts, danger levels. The queen is worth as much as a queen. So you can avoid a trade, or rather, you can avoid material loss by attacking something of equal value. So bishop takes will result in knight takes queen. You say, well, that's easy. I just move my queen. Yeah, but then white takes with check, because the king is also worth more than the queen, and then I move the queen out of the way. So that is why he didn't rush. He plays queen c5. Stay patient, y'all. Some of y'all play chess like you're, late for a business meeting. Queen to e2. Bishop takes c3, pawn takes c3, queen c3, and now white plays rook takes d5. Nice idea here, utilizing this pin on the undefended rook on e8. It's one of the reasons you don't snap take. In fact, if he takes here, it's white to play and win in 3 moves. Check. Now black has only 1 move, and now the bishop comes in as the hero. You have to go to the corner, and you get mated. How quickly a chess game can turn, right? Rook takes d5, and Frank Marshall plays knight d4. Nice move, transferring the knight in. Remember, the queen has to stay pinning. So the queen moves to h5. Doesn't stay pinning, but, it attacks the rook here. If the queen had gone here, this would have put some pressure on the knight. Here there's a cool move for black. Rook f4. Guarding the knight by attacking the queen, and you can't take because I would fork you. So that's kind of a cool trick. But queen to h5 using the concept of danger levels, and black plays rook f8. So now, again, we see the benefit of fe6 because the doubled rook's on the f-file pressuring here. White plays rook to e5. Now here, Frank Marshall has a choice between 2 wins. Win number 1 is impressive. It's, it's a normal win. It's a nice clean conversion of the position. But win number 2 gets gold coins showered on the board and gets a Gotham Chess YouTube video made about the game 109 years later. Because I believe this game was played in 1912. I will be extremely embarrassed that this game was not played in 1912. It was played in 1912. I just checked. Chess YouTube channel. Thing to take. Win is the very natural rook takes f2. Why is that winning? Because you're threatening to take. And if they take you, you have a back rank infiltration. Because this rook covers the f1 square. It's called X-ray, right? It's not this because that hangs a queen, but it's this. And it doesn't matter who blocks, whether it's the queen or the rook or this rook, it's mate. But Frank Marshall, like I said, wanted to end up in a YouTube video and played the move rook to h6. that attacks the queen. You say, what's so good about that? The queen just moves. Let's say it just goes to g5. Well, here, Frank Marshall shows you the reason. Kabam! Now, Frank Marshall, trust me, if he had the option of crazy win, routine win number 1 and crazy win number 2, he's going to go crazy win number 2. Here's the point. You can't take, because I fork everybody, frankly. I mean, my horse just forks everybody. So, we got rook to c5, and Levitsky must have thought, okay, I'm going to attack the queen. Queen's going to move. Maybe I can play rook c7, and this, and this. And if you'd like to pause here and find the move, although it was on the thumbnail, please feel free to do so. I'm going to take a sip of my seltzer. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the coolest moves of all time. I present to you queen to g3. I mean, what more to say? What more to say? Queen to g3, white resigns, mic drop, game over. Here's why. If h takes g3, you've now opened up my rook's vision to the h-file, and knight to e2 is mate. If f takes g3, you've opened up my rook's vision to your rook, knight e2, king h1, and rook f1 is mate. Okay? Queen takes. Potentially the funniest one. Knight to e2, king to h1, knight takes, and there is a double pin situation. King to g1, knight to e2 check, king h1, and, you know, probably this. And we have an endgame where I have an extra knight, which I trust that they will win. And then last but not least, if you don't take, like, I don't know, you play like here, for example, then I would play knight to e2 check. And by the way, you can't mate me. Queen h2 is not mate because I'm defending you from the other side. Knight to e2, or potentially the cooler one, knight to f3. When have we ever seen something like that? King to h1 and rook h2 is checkmate. Queen h2 is one move more because the rook and the knight would be integral to the attack. I mean, have you ever seen something like that? No, you haven't. That's why you're happy that you clicked on this video, and that is why 10 minutes later, you are, well, no, actually, I was going to say the same thing. Frank Marshall made to chess, which might amaze. Some of you. So Frank Marshall, you know, allowed I always say Ruy Lopez, but that's not how you say it. Ruy Lopez. He always allowed the Spanish, and one of the open main lines of the Spanish involves b5, bishop b3, and castles. And here black plays d6, solidifying the center, and then deciding, you know, are you going to play knight to a5, for example? Are you going to play what's known as like the Chigorin, the Briar, although back then not a lot of them had names, right? The Zaitsev system with bishop to b7. But Frank Marshall invented theory in this position, which is played to this day. Over 100 years later, it's been worked out to be good. The best adaptation it had was Boris Spassky. The later part of the 20th century, he adapted it, and that is the immediate move d5. Now, according to computers, this is still playable for black, and this is the idea. Takes, takes, and you sacrifice the pawn in the center of the board. But white has no queenside development, right? And nowadays, people play c6, and what they do is they move the bishop to attack the king, they bring the queen out, sometimes they bring the bishop out, and it's pandemonium. And like, with optimal alpha 0 preparation, maybe white has like 0.2 advantage, but oftentimes, you know, the games end in draws. But of course, the unprepared opponent, not the super grandmaster, will get absolutely destroyed in the martial positions. These positions are a disaster for white if you're unprepared, because you're going to deal with 4 very angry pieces, maybe 5 very angry pieces further down the line. Now, back in the day, we got knight to f6, but this is kind of the point. Look, we're talking about Jose Raul Capablanca, one of the greatest players of that generation, arguably, in history. And this is the year 1918. Now, historically, Frank Marshall did not score very well against Capablanca, but nobody really did. But it shows you, look at this, look what Frank Marshall does, knight to g4. Watch what he does. You can't just, I mean, you can't just take, because then I go here, and I hunt you down with my bishops, right? So Capablanca shows discipline and plays queen f3, and Frank Marshall says, bro, I don't care if my rook is hanging, I'm gonna hit you with queen f2. So now we get d4, the only move to keep advantage. You say, why isn't he taking the knight? He doesn't need to. But Frank Marshall shoves that knight down his throat. Now, again, the only move. Rook e2. What? Why can't you just take? Well, then bishop g3. Frank Marshall is making... Actually, I apologize. Not bishop to g3. Bishop to g3 is wrong, because I just realized queen takes f7 is mate. Rook f7, rook e... Oh, that would have been bad. I would have gotten a comment. Oh, Levy, you hung mate in 2 here. Probably bishop to h2 check, I would imagine, but then king f1? Oh, but then you can play this, because now this comes with a check. Oh, God. Okay, Frank Marshall, you're insane. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Frank Marshall? So that is why he plays knight f2, and that is why Capablanca doesn't take it. I'm learning as I go here, right? Then he sacrifices a bishop, right? hg2, and he hunts the king. He's 2, and that is why Capablanca doesn't take it. I'm learning as I go here, right? Then he sacrifices a bishop, right? hg2, and he hunts the king. He's down 2 pieces right now, and he's hunting the king. Look, he takes the rook, and now this is hanging, so Capablanca has to once again find the only move, which is bishop to d2, right? We get bishop back to h4. Like, this is the playing style that this man brought to the game. And in this game, Capablanca took every bit of resistance not to succumb to this pressure. Look, he is throwing everything at this guy. He's just shredding the position open, destroying the safety of the king. And Capablanca just covers up like this, weathers the storm, and he ultimately wins the game. You say, well, what's so impressive about this? He just lost all his... Guys, I mean... Come on, show some respect to Frank Marshall. This kind of creative play took like 10 only moves of resistance, and we're talking about Capablanca, who was the world champion. So, this is what the man brought to the table. Frank Marshall has long-lasting contributions. This 5, c4, e6, and then here when black plays the triangle defense, you can play e4. This is known as the Marshall Gambit, because there are lines where, for example, after check, you lose the pawn on d4, and this is very much a Frank Marshall kind of thing, and it's incredible to this day. And the fact, free, real New York, 3, and taking a look at some games.
Even though he did see Lulu, he's gonna have to use it on Beryl, and now Noah's on the wrong side of the fight. It seems like they don't have a lot of experience playing against Senna Ken.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because it was super obvious. Like Well, especially, like, even if you don't know, like, even if you're not familiar, when you see the way that Beryl stands there, like, I think you trust that they know that you're gonna die. Like, you know what I mean? Versus Noah, but in this case, it is just purely one-sided. And Khan really pushing the envelope here. He had his oranges. So not gonna get scurvy, but
Doran?
Wow. This is kind of sloppy game.
This is reminding me of Live Sandbox yesterday in the second game.
In these high-pressure situations for a crowd, but none of them have ever played in a, or some of them have never played in a must-win game all season long. It's regular season, right? You know, you always think you can turn it around, but when you get to the very end, where playoff implications are on the line, and if you lose, like, your season is over, I think that's when sometimes you see the cracks start to show for some of these players. See, only Dove is actually in a gold lead at the moment, but it is very slight.
Yeah, even the Senna is miles ahead of the Tristana at this point, which generally doesn't happen if it's an even lane. As, okay, at least he got the blue buff, so Dove is the one guy feeling okay on his team, I suppose, but you know, everything's being taken as we speak, right? Canyon owns the jungle once again here. Noah can barely lane.
If he gets caught by chains, I was really worried for a second there. How far pushed up he was. He would definitely be a dead Tristana. So we're gonna watch this exchange one more time. You know, it ends up being pretty extended. The teleport is coming through from very far away from Dove, or rather from very close by, because he just needs to be here as soon as possible. Emperor's Divide is good, and you know, you can't get out of that turret shot if you're Gideon, so it ends up being he has Essence Reaver.
This is where we're at against Spellblade. Played at steel caps.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, that's just where we're at right now.
And he gets punished for it. Okay, then he stays too long, wants to clear this wave. And he gets punished for it. Yeah, a little bit of greed.
Should have just, a bit greedy.
I mean, this game is going to be Ghost's Playhouse. He's very excited to 3 kills. It is looking rough start to the season. Comp, you know, Azalilia is 0-1 and 2. You know, the
oven thing is like alone. You know, if he had a Tristana, maybe, but not at this point. As Gideon desperately trying to get something going here, he's going to take a lot of damage. They're trying to burst down Peril, but take a look at that shield. Just way too giant with the gray health coming through, and the Senna ultimate. It is enough, and good with the Rise. Whenever that's just
probably 3 of those go to Khan again. Who
something like that would not surprise me to see him on, and it will be the Udyr first pick here, picking it away from Pioshik, who can still go into a Nidalee. Our big crumbled, and I think
as the Korean cast having a very good time. Kind of want to know what the joke was. Maybe production can let us know at some point. But
no one's laughing here.
No,
not funny at all.
I just not really. I missed the joke. If there was one, I missed it.
Maybe we had a joke.
Yeah. Now I'm just like actually paying more attention. I'm like trying to listen. Like, is Sunke just being hilarious again? I think he must be.
Odds are.
Yeah. I think we've just caused a whole lot of people to switch over to the Korean broadcast. Hopefully they didn't miss the joke. Because we have a look at some of the stats here. Certainly not looking great for Live Sandbox, who are, you know, a team that could potentially be 9th place at the end of this series.
I said earlier, I think Live Sandbox, they have potential. And potential is really overused, but we see it in their games. This is a team of a player like Croco, who really doesn't have that much in terms of experience, but still was able to really get a lot done throughout this split. Oh, that's not good win rates on the Tristana and the
no.
But Tristana has become more popular recently, and recently DRX have looked worse. And I'm going to be looking towards that top side, which, as we can see here, even though it's not as favored as it might otherwise be, or as one might expect, I can guarantee you that the laning phase is going to be very one-sided. It's more about what happens afterwards that's a problem for a lot of teams. And DRX, as said before, with this composition, basically has 2 modes. It's either poke, or it's hard engage with a Leona and then dive in with the Lilia, the Jace, and the Tristana. And up until that point, you're just looking to hit some lasers, hit some shock blasts, and it is something that DRX has shown already that they can play Becca getting zoned off a little bit of the early wave, but the same is the case for Summit.
Yeah, Summit not going to be having a great time here towards the top side, as the boomerangs are at least connecting. But that's not what this is about, right? It's about having the lane in exactly the position that it's in, as there's a Zenith plate. Pretty good one. Becca's going to turn around and just stop any follow-up from effort. Actually, a really nice trade there for DRX bottom side.
A couple of creepies missed there by Bao. So, while it's a good health trade, it does cost him a little bit of resources. The real problem is that the Ezreal Alistair will just not be able to match the raw damage output that the Tristana and the Leona can get against you in an all-in, so they're kind of relying on Croco, who Staffing towards top side, so is Pioshik, but the prio in mid and top lane means that I don't think that Croco can actually go for the crab here. Vision is secured as well, and with Fate's health bar, Summit going to be stuck underneath the turret again. I don't actually think...
Few creeps, just top scuttle. Back.
Really I figured with the priority they will be able to go for it, but they seemingly don't want to take the risk, and that's a double scuttle being given away with priority on your top side. I don't really think that was necessary, but maybe they don't want to risk it. The Udyr can really overpower a lot of other picks if he does. That last series, much more found out here.
I mean, it was so obvious that Croco was going to be here as well, as Croco's just running after him. Pioshik gets the smite off, but immediately the follow flash is going to be there. And yes, I mean, Pioshik should be able to kite this one relatively well with phase rush, as well as just being Lilia, so he does make it out. But still, trade of flashes, is that something that you're really that psyched about? And he's also not able to take the Croc camp fully away.
And the main issue there, because I think the flash for flash is fine. I think Udyr is more reliant on the flash than Lilia is. But the main problem is that now you've traded a lot of health. And this early game from Liv Sandbox is just too much.
Yeah, flash out once again. Croco's just going around stealing flash. Continue. Good control there as well, as Pioshik realizes that he was not invited to this area of the cleanse there from Prince. Even the boomerang's going to connect there, so Zenith Blade here on the bottom side. Good cleanse there from Prince. Now trying to turn this one back. Becca taking a lot of damage now that the Eclipse and the Aftershock are running out. DRX not able to find any all-in or anything like that. They do get the cleanse at least out of Prince.
Really key interruption that Prince was able to catch. Rocco going for that invasion because getting on the line, he was there. Now he's waiting level for Lilia, and from a knock different.
And Pioshik once again going to be discovered by Croco, and look at him, he's just running, the bear man, just running so fast, stealing things away. Pioshik might be able to contest this, but there's the flash up pole. As Pioshik gets exhausted, it looks like he's okay for now, as Bao just going to jump on top of the cow. Croco also in trouble now, as I didn't mean to rhyme everything, but sometimes these things happen. Flash into the brush, Croco is do for DRX.
Magic strong today. Happening, play you, but then that has a scaling carry.
Huge, just because of, you know, Fate has, here on the top side, does out of the brush, getting himself a bit of a headbutt pole onto Pioshik, but it's just not enough, right?
And this is flash used by...
And Sulk is dead, headbutt pole onto Pioshik, but it's just not enough, right?
And this is also... Oh.
And Sulk is dead in the mid lane. It's going to be Croco grabbing that kill.
Flash used by Fate there, so I imagine it was a flash scatter that set up that play. Croco, the lack of responsibility on the lose was happening whatsoever with the health bars that you have. That flash from Bao.
Just trying to get vision
on
Udyr so that he will run away. And yeah, look, that's a way to do it. Yeah, done, but it looks like they will have the damage. Kinging in a flash away is Pioshik. Not a lot that he can do, does put them to sleep, but no, Summit actually going to be okay. Back to Mininar at exact matchup this round.
I think that in that case, actually the problem, it was specifically Summit and Croco. And then you go back, and this is why we were excited about this team, right? This is why we want to see Liv Sandbox. So the odds with Summit and Croco, the over is winning for setup.
One more time. This is just largely Kingen out of position, but Pioshik, he'd started off the Rift Herald, and Croco just wanders his way in. That level advantage still so important.
And this is a problem that we've seen from DRX again, and it is somewhat for the objective, or as we saw, that he would have been able to.
Okay. But she'll make it. As Kingen, he's got a long walk to get out of this one, is, yep, out of the brush. You get that chance, but not able to get to Gnar. A chosen matchup into the Gnar. I guess he can't be Jace winning the majority of the time.
It's not a straight up counter, but Croco necessarily play, but really good. Even impressed by this team every time that they're able to keep it together. And this is one of the very few lineups I'm like, I hope they stay together. I hope we get to see this exact lineup. I hope they are able to like polish, to develop themselves into the spring split, to put pressure, power shove. This style of aggression, it keeps us honest.
Good play and that sort of stuff. That is talent-based. They can certainly put together the longer they remain as a squad. That is strong. We are getting
not a solid late game wing. And Bioshik falling behind. So she gets a couple of games, so it's possible for DRX. But what's worrying me here more, Atlas, is that even though DRX didn't always have the greatest early game, it looked like they had faith in their own. What was the match? I wouldn't be surprised to see Blaze. He hasn't really in a
get there. Ezreal's an interesting champion now. It was always so easy to say 2-item power spike, but now it feels a little bit like he needs to get closer to 3. That being said, Bao's still going to be very strong once his Zeal item choice is completed, like 1.4. And
solid math.
Yeah, when it comes to you know, scaling and things like that, I don't necessarily think that there is a clear winner. So it's going to be interesting to see how these later skirmishes are going to go. Just
they haven't. Otherwise, they might be in for a rough one. Although they are currently standing on top of the.
So I think that's a good sign. As Becca, looking for the Zenith Blade, does not find it. Is indeed going to be coming.
Possible flank from Summit necessary. If you just let the RX poke for free,
yeah,
it'll be a rough one for Liv Sandbox.
He's also getting poked out. Doesn't have much of a Nabar. As in goes Becca, flashes away immediately as now Effort gets amongst it. It is going to be the Ocean Soul as the Solar Flare connects onto Effort as well. It's a big old sleep as Kingen looking for Summit off towards the side, just keeping him busy, but he's just going to get solo killed off towards the edge. And Liv Sandbox actually win the ensuing 4v4 off to the other side. And Bao realizes he has no real option as they were waiting to deliver him back into the pit. And this one should go over to Prince pretty comfortably. That I'm going to need.
It's going to be in the map movie.
That's what it felt like, because he was pressing the button as soon as the rocket jump happened. Let's hopefully see it in the replay.
And here you see the initial poke that comes out is actually considerable because there's no lead. It's not as big as it otherwise wants to be. An Effort, these team fights of them have been so good. He frees up space for Croco, and then they can get in. Now the problem here is that the two people that are getting slapped are the tanks and the front line, and that means that Fate and Prince can just freely do damage and see the amount of threat that they're still able to put up. Meaning that all of this is going on, Summon is just like,
he's just chilling, he's just waiting.
You're right.
Bye.
You were right. I thought he was backing, but he was just standing there like, haha.
No, he's like, I got this. You thought that I just had a bear slap. No.
배달했어. 치아나 잡으라고 저거. 배달해줬잖아 내가. 나 이거 전력까지.
And it was a special delivery.
That is going to over or not. However, classic Liv Sandbox throw. And do get to finish off their series, sorry, their season.
For unknown reason.
Yep.
When the where that new and improved. Just so sad because look at how smurfing, but effort getting to the point.
But also, like, Ezreal suits their composition so beautifully. It's similar to how KT play, right? They also like to pick up the Ezreal, play that one out, and it's because Ezreal is a...
I love a bit more something right. Freedom was struggling if comp was brush, but he's also,
you know, and
he is Udyr.
Or he's definitely not, or whatever. I don't know whether we're doing the joke or not.
Are we?
No,
up to you.
Yeah, we've done it a few times. As needed. Now Summon as Meganar looks for the wallet, finds it. They're just going to be
poked.
Yeah,
it finds a lead. Not good because yes, the DRX's comp can go poke from the jet. Good angle. And you're behind. But he accelerated them on the map.
But Croco's been a little bit more than that so far this game on this Udyr. 5,000 gold the lead. Fate just chilling out on his favorite Syndra. Getting work done. I can see, I still had some playoffs. There's something that you...
I don't know about this one.
All right, got a lot of circles coming down here. Solka's doing his best to run away. Croco doing now the same. Important.
Team where I think more than so with any other team, even taking AT, Rex, but to see this team stay match super well. Struggles
to displace Becca.
Not the
yeah,
same team.
this is the worry, right? And Effort going to displace Becca. He tries to get back out again, but that's 4 people. There's no amount of tankiness that this Leona has that's going to allow her to survive that. And Liv Sandbox are just finding all of the picks.
You do. by Liv Sandbox. They have all the vision necessary. And both the Gnar and the Ezreal are not easy to engage on. And here we get a problem.
Effort finds him one.
Composition. Once your Pokemon becomes inconsequential.
Oh, no. Effort finds him once again. Oh, not going to be in range of the trample, though. It's a good sidestep. And, oh, it's getting close. Summit really wants to get that. Hop does not find the put in him, as that...
Just the entire... You're engaged.
Pioshik's going to get...
You needs to carry all the weight, and I don't think that she really can.
Well, Pioshik's going to get smacked into a wall. The wallop does come down, but now it is Summit's turn to get surrounded, and he's going to get popped. Looking for some orange balloon. Going to be said goodbye to, and now Effort. Looking for some revenge. And Becca, I think I've seen this movie before. This is going to be difficult. True Shot Barrage going to connect.
Fortunately also for Sandbox, every same to me.
More so in Texas to box.
Doesn't you go to someone else. Yeah, it's pretty unexcusable to just face check here as Becca without the proper setup from the rest of your team. If you have the rest of your team there, you can still make the argument that it's a risky play, but I kind of get it because you need to do something. So this is a Liv Sandbox. They don't lose enough.
Yeah. Point on the side of Liv Sandbox. They get it as I say it. And now, okay, Pokemon Truck Kingen in, but you do have to be really careful. This Ezreal is hitting like a truck. Kingen in so much trouble. He'll get stunned. There's the pole. Goodbye, Jace. The trade's going to be there most likely as the Alistair will fall down, and the Chaos Storm did do a fair bit of damage, but now he might be out of position. Has to flash, but does engage. On to Fate. Pioshik goes golden, but now he might be out of position. Has to start looking.
Even with the lead side, even 5 damage he's here. Once they know what? The only ways, like the only avenues that I see, and those are not avenues that Liv Sandbox should ever give you, meaning that I think we might be looking at a Liv Sandbox as well. With
3 out. Does have a B. I think you Liv Sandbox to effectively throw this. That being said, oh god, we can't really cast a curse potential that much.
Oh boy.
Yep. Is it happening? Is Summit once again going to get caught out of position? In goes Bow. Hops back out with the reset, and he'll be able to grab it. There is a Chaos Storm. Not quite. Look at
single disco.
A rad track.
That one. See that Summit is actually quite tanky, building towards that. Yeah, this is just not okay. There's no vision there. You are mini now. Summit, come on, buddy. We're expecting better of you. Only reason why Bao survives it, by the way, is because of a combination of heal, flash, and I'm pretty sure I saw a locket as well.
Did he? Yeah. I don't think you're necessarily. Yeah. Yeah. These are of any kind.
Big. So what do you do it? I think sure that my analysis is basically
like it's not wrong, but it's also one of these things that Liv Sandbox, they understand. They've made these mistakes in the past.
But they still done it like twice in this game.
And yeah, that's one of the favor of DRX. In fact, there's have beaten this team, I believe, in the last 2 years. It's one of those hurdles they haven't been able to get over, and now Summit looking for an opportunity. Pioshik goes golden. True Shot Barrage a little bit too early as the Bambi just escapes. Gonna be all right for now, but that's a lot of buttons now on cooldown. Grab this for free. Yeah, plenty of damage right there. Pretty decent.
So the main of the and with your DRX. Oh yeah, we have 3 items. What do you
play? That he's claimed for himself. Croco just seeing whether there's a potential focus farm. So he's got that going for him. But Summit is just massive for Summit there. Because he's done his job. The early game was great from Croco. Still a win condition. As there's a headbutt pole from Effort. Doesn't necessarily find enough of his targets. It looks like Kingen's going to go down. Summit finds the backline as well as the Mega Gnar will get stunned up. Becca now looking for his way out as Fate wants to be able to lock this one down. Croco is dead already. Bao is at full health. There were some lower health bars on the side of Liv Sandbox. Completely clobbered by the True Shopper. He's got, oh! There were some lower health bars on the side of Liv Sandbox and DRX. It could have been way worse for these guys. Oh! Pioshik just gets completely clobbered by the... to go in range.
Goes in and finds an immediate backbone and comes on the coffin for DRX.
Yep. About the power of the Ocean Soul, because Liv Sandbox, they got chunked after this. It was a decent effort for DRX. It's unfortunate for Kingen, but he soaked a lot of aggro, and then Summit doesn't find quite as much value as he wanted. Still,
Ocean Soul. Yeah. It's just Ocean Soul, right? Like, look at Prince's health bar, because that's why I said I think that he was just looking for health. But look at his health bar.
Plus 62, plus 62, plus 62.
That's not okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of...
To get on continuous DPS coming through from the Victor, and then go from there. But unfortunately, they don't have the... I think the base is just going to crumble here, Atlas.
Yep, certainly started to, as that's a decent scat of the week. On to Becker, he gets taken down below half health. Not going to be engaging anytime soon. Eclipse not enough to save this guy. There's just too much damage on Liv Sandbox. So many poke options, and yeah, Kingen just not able to be the Jace that he wants to be. Here's the reset. 2 inhibitors go down, and we've got a minute down with
Sandbox. No, yes, they might be at a slight deficit, but they always soul cut. And carries for DRX got insanely fat just through the fight.
All of Liv Sandbox headed towards the top side. The obvious play was to move towards the Elder. Instead, they decided to come up here and get themselves a free turret. Not going to be able to get the inhibitor off this one just yet. But you can see Summit. He's just taxiing some minions up the mid lane, and they're going to retain all of that extra pressure. There goes for DRX closer to the Elder. Even to and
there, he hits 1-2 Mystic shots and he's fine again. He's going for the TM at his final item here.
Oh god, okay, Pioshik gonna go golden. Shock Blast lands. This was a different Jace. That would have been actually something that mattered, but unfortunately not quite, as Becca has to flash away as well. Liv Sandbox now just gonna kite from many different brush break that has just popped up. Now looking to set up a gank rush. There are many different brush options as okay, that's a decent stopwatch from Kingen. Keeps himself alive for the moment. Flashes out, Croco gets exploded. Bao picks up that kill, but they've traded 1-for-1 for now. Effort now has to limp out of this fight, as you can see Summit looking for even more. Solka, oh god, every auto attack is so damaging. But Liv Sandbox, look at these low health bars. Does not matter. Tick, 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 and they're full health again thanks to the ocean.
The triple inhibitor down is one of the most prohibitive things in League of Legends. Angle, you kill all triple in here. It's just gone. This is also the ballsiest play I've seen Fate make in a long time, and I'm loving it. But you see the value that
Ezreal completed. Now he's got his Ravenous Hydra completed.
My God.
It's the first time we've seen the completed new version of 2021 Ezreal. I like it. Prince definitely likes it as well. If you're a DRX fan, you definitely don't like it.
No, I'm in fun.
Yep, now we're pushing in towards the base. Oh god, Bao is so close to getting dragoned. But he does make it back to the fountain for now. This Nexus turret, oh my god, it explodes. Huge pulverize from Effort as well as Kingen died at some point in that fight. Now the dragon's coming down. Double kill already for the Ezreal as Effort gets saved by a buster shot actually for quite some time. But now Prince is just able to play with his food. That's the Quadra. The Nexus is dead and Liv Sandbox make a lot of people pretty sad.
The Twisted Fate, both of which honestly will not be super happy about the fact that Firestorm is a thing, and the cleanse is also gonna alleviate that issue a little bit further. But I think Liv Sandbox, that Twisted Fate pick is a stroke of genius after seeing the first game, because you go to yourself like, guys, we're just going to win the lanes again. Like, this is the form that we're on today. This is the form that they're on. We're going to win lanes. And if you have winning lanes and Twisted Fate stop making plays around the map and you snowball, game is just over.
And this is also a great comp to play the Kai'Sa with as well. Like, Twisted Fate sets up for Kai'Sa so beautifully as Killer Instinct and Destiny Gate. Pretty much just global duo attack, you know? It's like Abyssal Voyage that comes with a gold card. It's some real scary stuff and some extra damage with the Acathian Rain. Becca taking a bit of damage here on the bottom side as Effort pops that Aftershock. And Pioshik just farming out his jungle under the wary eyes of Liv Sandbox, who do have that ward right there. A little bit behind Croco's clear right now, as to be expected. We'll see what Croco's actually going to be able to do with it, as in the it's not something that we've said a lot, just not in. So maybe mid lane's over.
That must be it. Yeah, that's generally how mid lanes go. As action here, pre-level 2, Duo just has full control side. we want.
Well, we're doing some biffo here on the bottom side as Bao has to cleanse. Oh my goodness, he takes so much damage as Becca's still chasing after Prince. They think that they have an opportunity to do this as Becca gets exhausted at just the right time. Tries to get on back. The flash over Prince is going to be taken an effort. Steals away the first blood. It's a lining up the headbutt, wanting to deny this, and oh dear.
That was not how that was supposed to go.
Yeah, that ain't it. The position.
I feel like there would have been a little payoff, and now
it's picking up assists with a slight further than it is going. Are going to
really talk enough about cannon minions.
Yes.
Really get a cannon minion.
Allows you like character progression. You don't have enough like in the rest of
Well,
the minions because that's like stormtroopers.
Exactly.
It's less fun.
Not just that, but I feel like, you know, cannon minion, you can rely on them. You know they're trustworthy. If you go back and your lane gets shoved in, there's an enemy cannon there by the turret, and then can you imagine?
Whoa.
I know. Can we have that for
like all go to spectate?
Don't get how he does
to us. Charge to work doesn't really. As Croco, level 5, not going to be able to Ragnarok, but is going to be able to blast cone his way out.
Game state, I would like them to. Okay. It was. The problem is though that even though armor, right, he already, especially like we anything done in that, it's not the case here. But at the very least, this is going a lot more, as you say, like how the matchup is supposed to go. This is the counter pick. Last time they got no value for this. This time DRX, they find a minute early game lead, and if you can get split, and I don't know which one yet.
The clouds are already on the board. I got a little bit ahead of myself in this particular match. It was because we didn't have any clouds last game, so I wanted to guarantee that even if no one took a Drake all game long, there's the Onslaught of Shadow. Comes back, now looking for Summit. Pyoshik's here as well with the same idea. There's the Onslaught of Shadows, devastating charge to bring him back, and no one...
Nothing. Expect a testing this. Can still do okay in the mid game, but you do need they able to game position that wants to
Destiny onto someone, and then they probably want to be getting things done together. Does mean that Summit is on more of an island than he otherwise wants to be, and after that pick on the top side of the map, you saw how many minions on the... It's got the looks well when it comes to clearing out these waves. And so not exactly the end of the world. And despite missing that cannon creep relatively early on... Oh, okay, perfect. No worries, says Fate. I managed to get my cannon. Exactly. The League of Siege will find a control ward. Once again, wins the mind game this time. As there's the headbutt pole out from effort, but no one else actually wanting to get over that wall. No, and just as there's no... It's going speaking. Understands the
one here. Future.
Have scaling and probably give it to DRX with the champions that they have. I just look at Olaf and Gnar and even Twisted Fate, right? Who, unless he gets, you know, ridiculously fed, doesn't necessarily do oodles of damage.
And you have Fate and go even, clear waves, and kind of growth with to build.
Yeah, bubble
specifically just to enable that. You also have an initial Drake, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, bubble boring. A few of these guys is Summit now trying to fight back against Kingen, as you can see. Looking for a turn up. It's not going to be looking for any dives, I don't think. It's just going to be some plates with the sweeper. And all the plays get a little bit more money there. Yeah, Hop comes out. Croco looking for his opportunity. No Destiny actually utilized yet. It's 13.5 minutes into the game as there's the Onslaught of Shadows. Summit flashes out of the way, and finally the Destiny comes in. He waited for the opportune moment and will be able to lock down that kill. Great interruption here on the bottom.
You gotta imagine going in and out, and then it wasn't used initially. Must have been like
it's a 1v2 solo kill for Kingen. As maybe just a Billy play. I agree. The speechlessness thing. As Fate not going to be hit by that pedal star. Yeah. No.
As well, so that
there's the turned up as the shock blast now on cooldown. Chilling Smite comes in. There's the exhaust. Headbutt just trying to make sure we have as much CC as possible. And okay, we'll see whether this undertow is going to connect. It does not. Need to get a bigger arm on that one.
Fate, so he can join this play, and now to punish.
Yep, solar flare towards the bottom side is now Summit once again going to be in the same
experience. Obviously, sheer amount of upside by the sandbox because you lose a Drake, you trade a lot of people.
It is unfortunate. We are going to have a look at the great I guess, patience from Fate to wait until the onslaught of shadows. Purshik, no option other than to die.
It was really well played by King and gets just negated.
Crocker takes a lot of
fun.
Sat down at the desk of this game now. He's the one with the information. A much better to Live Sandbox. Ward.
Means that DRX, they've now hit their initial item spikes. We see the Eclipse on Kingen. Already seen the amount of damage they can do. Once Moramana gets finished, it's going to get even worse. The setup is still really good. Left Sandbox still can definitely find a single target.
This is that's the bad news. Maybe a little bit late, but does have the fadeaway boomerang, so he's going to be all right. One of these of a distance.
Sandbox. Bone, so that...
I don't think he was...
let's check.
Yeah. It's good. Smite, because I've been a Score fan for a long time, and he gets made fun of for his smites a lot. And to know that there are other teams in the world that also struggle with that is pretty cool. As Fate's going to get ganked, and will be taken down. Takes him a little while, as you can see the Olaf trying to do what he can as well. Summit's going to turn up to join the party, but it's not the party that he wanted to go to. He should have definitely opted Rono.
You can see they need to keep people like themselves. Oh.
This is the combo that we were talking for the option, as Fate going to take a lot of damage, but he does get stunned up. This is the combo that we were talking about to do.
To them, DR very nice. I like for your composition, not one.
As Becca takes a little bit of damage, not going to be able to take Croco.
To find an angle.
Good wards. In goes.
Which is understandable. Which is not going to ever make it work. You can't straight up 5v5. You need to go for the hit and run. You need to find specific opportunities and go from there, as we see here. Yeah, I don't know. Right on. And then immediately the Kaiser comes in. Princeton level 2 on the Killer Instinct, so these type of plays are going to be available to you more and more. But then it's the problem, how do you actually bait that out of the sandbox is by putting people in side lanes. And what has been happening to Summit every time he gets put in the side lane? He gets run over by an angry horse.
And it also doesn't matter whether there's a turret there or not. You can see bottom side vision now actually claimed for Live Sandbox, but unfortunately weren't able to collect the Mountain Drake. As you can see on your screen, DRX were able to secure it. So still a case of Olaf behind early. Does he ever do anything this game that's actually relevant? It's going to be a really difficult battle.
Yes, if he has Seraphine, which is not in this game, so...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Solar Flare is going to connect. Pop goes the Gnar once again. It was Gnar domination in game 1. Now he's just being dominated as Croco going to get booped over his wall. For Dark. What's the answer? Does find himself a flank angle, but it's 4v5. And the 5 has more money than you by a considerable margin. DRX definitely not wanting to throw at this point, as Croco doesn't exactly have the flash. As in goes Pyoshik, looks for this one more time. Pyoshik does get popped. It's Prince that grabs the kill. He's still at full health, the low health bars. If DRX had been tanking the Baron and they didn't want to, the Zoe will be taken down. Becca will get executed as well. Is this the throw? Have DRX done it? I don't know whether it is. It's certainly not a good sign.
That's terrible for DRX here, Atlas, and as you were saying, it was the Baron that was just shredding through them. While Live Sandbox, sure, they don't have 4 people there, but they have a 5th and 6th one in the form of the Baron. Bao and King need to make it work here.
Yep, Summit makes it to Mega Gnar, does it just in time as Croco secures the Baron. Now, still trying to look for something, but there's a crush to get this Gnar over the wall. It's only 2,000 gold to lead, and that's only going to extend as the Baron is used around this map. There's still an outer turret in the mid lane. Kingen, oh dear, Effort's going to turn up. Now Solka coming on in, finds the bubble onto Effort. He's going to immediately use his ultimate. Everfrost's traded on both sides. Looks like Live Sandbox should be able to find their way out side of Effort.
Success. Side lane, if you and
Allow your opponents
Yes.
to do most of the work on a Baron, take too much damage from it, then kill them and take the Baron. That's how you do it?
It is an elaborate plan.
I mean, the plots to Ocean's 11 and the Ocean's... all the Ocean series got worse and worse and worse. I guess it makes sense that Ocean's, like, what is it, 15 now, is one of these, as this is the storyline relived once again.
It's honestly, it's just Baron and effort knock-up.
Oh,
my
so
God. And then you see that Prince and effort...
And this is the storyline relived once again.
It's honestly, it's just Baron and effort knock-up.
Oh,
my
so
God. And then you see that Prince is just moving around with impunity here in this fight. All the damage that DRX do have, and they do have considerable amounts of it, has just been thrown into effort, who is completely okay with that, doesn't mind that whatsoever. And that creates a situation in which the carries for Liv Sandbox just need to work against the clock, right? And that should not have happened. I don't think that this is actually the nail in the coffin, but what I'm worried about is this might feel like a nail in the coffin moment for DRX. This might be where you're like, oh,
yeah, the mentality problem once again. No, I agree. It is dangerous.
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, now you've also got Fate, who has a considerable advantage in that mid lane as well. 3 items completed, Lichbane as well as his Zhonya's, and he's parked that minion wave in that top lane, and they're all just... Thank you so much, Jonas Strong. Comes back right as the siege minion is dying as well. I told you, he's a cannon whisperer. He knows exactly what's going on. As you can see, Destiny gives all of the information over to Liv Sandbox. And now, there's going to be a fight around this river effort, looking for the opportunity. Hep up hold, they want to take down the Zoe. They do so very comfortably. It's Summit! He was smashed all game, but finds a huge ulti into the backline. Bao, though, still finding the damage. Fate wants a little bit more here, as it's a triple kill for the horse. Pioshik has come alive. That's the Quadra. Could he be locking down the Penta? You betcha he is! Goodbye, Fate! And hello to a potential Game 3, as that is the Pioshik pentakill.
It's the hero moment that DRX were looking for. Sure, that Baron play didn't work out, but if you lose that fight right there, I think that's going to be the end of it. And it looked so close as well. The damage comes through, but the disadvantage for Liv Sandbox in terms of composition, in terms of gold, in terms of items at this point in the game is simply too much. They can't make it work. The stalling from Bao's Featherstorm is enough. And then Pioshik says, hello, and thank you very much.
Yeah. That's all over. I don't know what they were doing, trying to group up in the river, though. That's not what this composition is built to do. Effort goes for a hero play once again, but the pole landing onto only one is absolutely not what you're looking for.
It is actually Pioshik that hard carries this fight, because what happens is Summit goes in, and he finds the backline. King and Bao smashed into the wall. But because of that fear, because of Pioshik zoning out the Twisted Fate, as well as the Kai'Sa, there's no ultimate. The Killer Instinct can't come through immediately, and because of that, no one actually dies. And Pioshik, he's tanky enough. This is no problem whatsoever from him, and he finds every single cleanup kill that he needs to. And you can look at that and go like, oh, that's a tank hacker, and he just finds the penta. Yes, but that onslaught of shadows means that Summit's play doesn't work out, and means that you don't lose the game, or otherwise you very well could have.
Well, it's not over just yet. However, DRX do manage to wrestle back some control. It's, you know, trumpets are starting to get warmed up. I can hear some tuning, absolutely. As Summit on this inner turret will be able to take this one. Top lane inner also has taken considerable hurt. So the gold, not exactly a terrible story right now.
Does it teleport? So Summit's, I'm pretty sure Summit's dead. We don't see it yet, there's a bit of a delay. Oh, no, never mind, that'll do it.
Teleport out, okay, that'll keep him alive. As Destiny, just to make sure.
Just double checking.
It's going to spot exactly the location of everyone on the side of DRX. Does mean that Fate knows that he is safe to push out this Trine Mountain Soul with Pioshik as massive as he is, as he looks towards the back line. Maybe he's a bit too far away. Decent pull, but box members who are now scattering. Of Fate absolutely nowhere in sight. Talking about our rest of the Liv Sandbox members who are now scattering. That side lane play that we were talking about, absolutely what they're trying to do, because Twist of Fate Jake wanting to get some more work done. Another pole only lands onto one. Three-man solar flare is beautiful as Everfrost is going to stop Fate in his tracks. Bao grabs the double kill, and this will be the end of the game. DRX will make sure that the DRX way.
Aurelion Soar's like not even, he's like a celestial being, right? Like he's not just even, I mean, he is a
skirmish around the mid game. We've of course have absolutely everything laid out. We're not. And they were tussling for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then something will happen. Live Sandbox will leave a foot out of place, and DRX will get an ace and take the game. That's at least what the script has said, and it's not often wrong.
Main question is, how many Monster Hunter references are you going to make while that is happening?
Just sunk about. I haven't in 1 hours or something like that. Do stuff at this has been a lot of fun. All jokes aside about scripts and things like that, like this is a composition that can certainly get some exciting things done. I do like Samira just because she's fun. Also, Summit out of this
immense. Of all so commonplace within the League of Legends scene.
in 5 within a play-by-play moment. As in goes Summit once again. Not exactly trading super effectively as Kingen is going in. But Rocco not looking too perturbed about it as he's just going to come through. Absorbing a lot of this. Nani is just NA. Yes.
Specific for it's a separate.
So I need to.
For the collective.
Yes. Exactly. Well, let's up there onto Summit. There's the flash forward from Kyoshik, lands the bowling ball as well, and watch out. Will land the... Not a whole lot of action in this early stage of the game as Kingen will land the wallop there onto Summit. There's the flash forward from Kyoshik, lands the bowling ball as well, and watch out, Eep, you are dead. That 11.
Is that entire... Oh, that is just painful, and... I'm trying to do some analysis.
I love that his name is Effort, and that looked like the most low effort freeze that he could possibly try and get. Beautiful.
It's getting late. We're getting giddy.
So good. I hope we get it. Oh no, it's the top lane. I wanted to see that again. We are going to check this one out. It was actually pretty well played here from Kyoshik.
It was. Not just Bioshik. I think the setup from Kingen is really nice as well. Where he's also seen here. Bioshik, it's definitely going to be another ganking up. just as bad, and Pioshik's making his way up.
Yeah, few autos cancelled there, unfortunately, for Summit, so it doesn't get quite enough damage as, okay, it's sleepy time for Summit. And this is yet another kill. Pioshik.
Hunt out the way, all he does, bowling ball hit, a lot better now, the goal, awkward position, and like I said, look at the trade he goes for here. If you use all these skills just on the wave, this is straight up greedy, right? Like, yes, he gets hit there, yes, it's unfortunate. He probably is dead either way as Pioshik has his passive stacked up, but I think...
Yeah, well, now especially Pioshik as well, who has been the beneficiary. As you can see, 730 gold. Not exactly end of the world, but it is still quite early. And Anar having an advantage against the Jace is bad news, Bears. Is once again, the trades are good. You just free. Much to worry about. On 11. I'm glad that we bring up this.
It's interesting. Mistakes because
oh, this is actually
a little bit. Udyr is just, it's so straightforward, right? You run in, you kill them. Or fade.
Oh, this is actually very cute. The bait does come through. Pioshik, though, very strong. And Solka, they're not going to be able to commit to the kill. Flash available for the Udyr if he's lost either.
What happens instead, and that the Rex to fight will be a 4 versus 4 if it does come to a fight. Priority is found, however, though, for Kingen, and I'm pretty happy that they get this up. I don't think they can do this.
Yep, Croco immediately going to run away back into his jungle. Becca's going to turn up as well. DRX knew that they had ample manpower available here towards the top side, but there's the ulti at the same. Got it carries on the bottom side. Bit of a trade here from Prince, who finds a blade well. There's the ulti at the same time. Bao is told to leave. Summit. Bottom side.
Still this
yeah.
Herald.
On both sides, right? As Becca gets shock blasted. Kingen very close to the Mega Nara. So,
attempt cardio.
Going to lose her patience and walk. Majority answered for the most part. 4 members of DRX now in this area. Now Fate is going to wander up the river. Let's see what the Emperor's actually going to be able to do here as Kingen decides that he wants to get rid of him. Pioshik should be able to get the smite at Summit, not going to land it onto Shelly there. It does eventually mean that Pioshik grabs that Herald. The Jace also going to fall down. Effort gets a pulverize, but it's just not quite enough as now Becca. He's the one that told Croco that he wasn't allowed in this battle, and goodbye Fate, you are dead as well. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is just a 1v1, and that's absolutely fine as Becca's getting hunted down by... And now it's 4-0 in the kill score.
And after Summit played is about to even try, which...
And this is where I should pressure. And we hadn't even discussed it, but it is going to be the mountain. So I've partially redeemed myself as Kingen's sidestep was actually beautiful here as well.
Yeah, like zoning, it's anything.
Yeah, it's sort of just on the other side, but did look really, really cool. If you compare it, this time Minion still trying to stack up this passive. He's just following along the wall. It's going to be avoided, but it's Betty by his time for Summit, and he is
of attention trading in the and it's team like a Cyan taking a couple of misplays. He's been playing a little bit disrespectful, but outside of
well, now Summit's going to get his revenge. Goodbye.
Visited your lane like 5 times in a row.
Well, now Summit's going to get his revenge. Goodbye, Pioshik.
Oh my god.
Just finds him in the river. And what? Look at how angry Summit is, dude. He just completes his Eclipse. And he's like, yes, it is indeed lights out for you.
I'm done. Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's see whether he can do it again. He's got double buffs, exactly. Shock Blast going to go entirely wide. Narnia's to the right, though, so it didn't go there.
Children,
it stayed on the rift. It stayed on the rift this time. Because I don't think I understand the names of enough mystical worlds, I guess. As, yeah, Kingen's gonna get chunked a little bit, at least, I guess. No, he's like, oh, one more time. As, yeah, this was the good Pioshik play.
Again, it's a 1 versus 2. If you're super fat, you might outplay that, but in this scenario, I don't think there's any way that you ever survive that. That initial miss on the swill, did you ever survive that? That initial miss on the swirl seed, probably the other ability, super immense prey feels you
a kill so that they it's a bad idea.
You know, then it's what
if it was that worked out a little bit better, then perhaps that's the thing too. Is that's a pulverize only onto Becca though, as the tower does go down. Zenith Blade, maybe not the one that Becca wanted, but Kingen's going to be here to help him out. Fate also going to die as Pioshik that lives on his Summit.
Don't lose Page. Fine, Prince can't die here though.
Yep, Solar Flare going to be Captain Jacked very nicely there as the Blade Whirl also pretty good. Shield Bow will keep him alive for the moment as Bao, one more to tidy up the minion web, putting that pressure.
That might be worth it. If you just sack Afford and Fade doesn't die, you're okay. But Fade goes for a really greedy jump over the wall there because he thinks I have vision, and then it's Scatter, Everfrost, Bowling Ball into sleep. Obviously, you get the turtle of a stretch coming. I legitimately feel that they get into the enemy back Narbar.
See whether they can make it work. Speaking of the Narbar, Kingan does go to Mega Knight here, but he's just chilling on the bottom side. Very even elsewhere on the map, outside of the kills that DRX have been able to entirely mop up. See the Jace, like, Summit, after that kill, like he's put together another half an item or something like that, has a few of them, comes down to every one of these, okay, away. Sidesteps the Solar Flare very nicely, so and okay, Prince just going to run away. Sidesteps the Solar Flare very nicely, so Becca is just going to sheepishly wander away.
Especially with your cleanse, that is a guaranteed death if you get hit there. And Liv Sandbox, they're kind of floundering, they don't really know which is going to be straight up burst. Scatter the weak, Kaiser, if you execute them well, King and Do.
Yeah, King.
A really big boon for Liv Sandbox. They need to be mindful of the hard engage coming through from backhand King and Do.
Yeah, Kingan looking for his opportunity. Narbar at a really good position. Fate's going to scooch over the wall, but Croco not going to be so lucky as Becca goes on an adventure that he didn't necessarily want to, but it worked out relatively well. Kingan doesn't quite find the Nara as Croco is burning down and will be taken in the end. Decent. There is... That's a scatter onto 3 on that crab. Liv Sandbox still looking for some more opportunities as that's a scatter onto 3 members. Everfrost there as well. Solka's so good at this, Syndra, and he'll be rewarded with a double kill. Now Prince trying to run, but it's so unfortunate. He'll get eaten and destroyed. Bao grabs that kill, and now DRX thinking about whether or not a Baron's a good idea, as only Fate is left standing.
It's such an unfortunate situation to that, even though trying happening.
Yeah, Croco ain't gonna get in there, doesn't have flash, no opportunity is now. Yoshik finds another watch out heap. Solar Flare is just gonna slow down the Udyr as now Summit looking to donate himself as tribute by the looks of that, decides against it in the end, is now still wanting to stop DRX from getting Sandbox turret. Trying
again, as it quite feels.
Yeah.
Because he is just incredibly tanky. They use all the CC on him and he will die in the very end. The main thing though is with the position, fighting position there is that Liv Sandbox can't actually engage. This movement though, I don't agree with. Look at the cooldowns already used. Yes, this Scatter and Everfrost from Solka is insane. It's super well played and I love that he goes for those proactive plays. But that should have never been an option, ever.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely good that he did take the chance.
Oh yeah?
But shouldn't have, like you say, even had it. As here in the mid lane, Baron is going to help them shove down this outer turret. 2 seconds on that Mountain Drake. DRX looking for Soul Point. They will be able to find it. No way that Liv Sandbox can actually answer as Summit. He goes home, managed to shove out the bottom side. That's going to put a little bit of a dampener into DRX's power play.
Regardless, anything that Liv Sandbox does here is just kind of running out the clock because I feel like their comp has missed its natural spike, right? You're looking for the 1-2 items on your Samira and on Summit, and then you go from there. Sure, you have an Azir, but just an Azir is not going to do it.
Yeah, Yoshik is going to put people to sleep. Gets a flash already as there's the Killer Instinct to answer. Cal falls down, Summit also in trouble, and they'll grab themselves a rep buff as well. DRX feels like they're having their cake and eating it too. It's feeling pretty nice for them here in game number 3. A game that they flourish in. DRX have the most practice in game 3s out of anybody else in the LCK for spring 2021.
Yeah, the
Kingan actually bouncing out here as he spends some time underneath the turret. Solka going to teleport in, give him some support. We had a look at that gold graph. It did stagnate a little bit, but you can see, based on the kills alone, it looks like this is an absolute shellacking as Bao looking for some extra damage. Becca not going to be as lucky, and Prince is going to be able to lock down that kill.
Game, the most your mode. Actually, I missed the train. Can I still go? And then people are like, no, because you missed the train. Like, there's not actually an opportunity for you to go anymore. And then leads to situations like this where, yeah, that went very haywire very quickly, and DRX can just move into the enemy jungle repeatedly, do whatever they well please, and go from there. Sure, Becca gets taken down. This is a free kill giving over to Prince, which is not something that should happen.
Yeah, it was a misposition of Becca. He just walked a little bit too far into enemy territory.
But does it matter? No, in 3 minutes you're going to get your Drake, and I talked about how good it would be for Liv Sandbox because the DRX has a lot of burst. Guess what Liv Sandbox have in terms of consistent damage at this point, outside of Fate?
I mean, it's an Azir wall, I guess, and a Dream.
It's Azir, yeah, and that's it, basically. Prince can get some work done, but the amount of CC available by DRX makes me believe that he won't actually get the opportunity for a big pop-off. And if he or Azir doesn't pop off, Summit at this point just doesn't have the raw damage available. It's not where the Jace excels. And I wasn't joking about missing the train. That's legitimately how it feels now to play like a 1 in 5 Jace 26 minutes into the game, knowing that your opponent is going to get more and more resistances. None of your accelerated shock blasts are actually going to have the impact that you want them to have.
He's still farming pretty effectively, and he will be able to take down turrets if he's left unattended, but that's all just if DRX hangs up their macro game entirely and allows him to spend time with inhibitor turrets and nexus turrets. I mean, Fate is also going to be there to provide consistent damage alongside Prince, I guess, in some theoretical fights, but it just feels like DRX are way too far ahead right now.
It's just not enough. Because I agree, like that's what you're looking for, but is that going to be it? Personally, I'm afraid that it's not going to be nearly enough. And
yeah, Kyoshik's a higher level than Fate,
yeah,
which is crazy.
That's
Passiv's
one.
Really starting to hurt too.
Just one. He's 2 masks already. Zonya's on the way, and then Pioshik is the happiest little deer that ever wandered around the forest.
Should be getting that relatively soon. Basically has it because the stopwatch is unbroken for now. As Liv Sandbox, 1 minute until they are going to be forced to try and find that miracle team fight. Mountain Soul going to be so difficult for them to get over. Damage dealt. Most damage actually by Summit, but second is Pioshik. This Lilia has been doing a lot of work for DRX. Jace, of course, just loves throwing shock blasts, so it's understandable. And this is just tidying up the lanes, try and make sure that DRX do have a way towards this Drake, or it's win a team fight. Prince is going to have to flash already. Solka finds an attempted stun onto Effort, but Unbreakable Will's going to be there. Kingen, no Naba, but does have flank position. 25 seconds now on the Drake. As Prince, he might need to go for an attempted reset, but now he's out of time.
It's not going to happen.
No.
They can't contest. Both Effort and Prince need to back here, but they can't back. They need to be at Drake. And as DRX, you're super happy. You don't even have to engage her anymore.
Kingen, yeah, actually just diving forward into 3 people. Summit to the skies. Shock Blast going to find the gap between all of the people. Effort going to get bowling balled as now Fate makes his way back. Solar Flare just says goodbye. All of the people to the skies. Shock Blast going to find the gap between all of the people. Effort going to get bowling balled as now Fate makes his way back. Solar Flare just says goodbye to Summit. 1 and 6 now on the Jace. And Pioshik, he's just going to solo out this Mountain Drake. And it's not something that Liv Sandbox have any right to contest, especially not without their Jace that was pivotal in any sort of siege or face-off scenario, right? Shock blasts were going to be necessary for that. As, yeah, Pioshik secures the Mountain Soul. And he's come alive, right? He was really struggling in game number 1. Pioshik gets a pentakill in game 2. And maybe, just maybe, it's that mojo coming back. It's the mentality slowly but surely getting repaired here for DRX.
I'd agree, but personally, I'm looking at Kingen. The fact that you go from losing your counter matchup to winning your stomping, I'd say, your counter matchup, to getting countered and then still winning within 1 best of 3. That's the type of mental fortitude that we were hyping DRX up for it when they were playing really well. And I'm happy to see that team return. Is it a bit late? Yes, because playoffs are literally happening like this week.
Yep.
They're coming up.
I mean, any win to give you momentum's good though, right?
Agreed.
Like, we have to go back to the stakes that are here, and there aren't any for this particular match. However, DRX need to do whatever they can to get over that slump. It's purely round 1 that's got DRX into the playoffs, and they need to show us exactly why they were so good back then. as DRX, okay, Live Sandbox, we're closing in. That's because DRX backing away because Kingan's on the top side, getting another wave in, slow push on the bottom lane as well. As Live Sandbox, they have some homework to do. They are putting it off. It's not a time for procrastination, but unfortunately they feel like they have to try and put on as much pressure as they can, as Jonas Strong, thankfully, down here, there's a season. So of course he's going to get there as we've got a couple they can, as Jonas Strong, thankfully, down here, there's a season. So of course he's going to get there as we've got a couple of sleeps. On two of the tanks, actually, is now Kingan looking for Kuroko. Becca comes on forward as well. Decent knock-up from Effort, but some very low health bars here, as DRX may have just bought themselves a Baron without even needing to get a kill.
And here you see the problem. There's no damage. There's Mountain Soul available. Live Sandbox are too far behind. None of their poke sticks. The only one doing consistent damage at this point is Fate, unless Prince finds the biggest all-in that you've ever seen.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether he can actually go for it, as Kingan stride breakering forward. Effort doesn't have the ulti available, as there's Becca finding the Zenith Blade onto Summit, who immediately flashes out of there. Kuroko, Effort still extraordinarily low. Prince at full health, Blade Whirls the bowling ball. DRX, they're not looking for any Barons or anything, they're just staying grouped up as a team. Wanting to make sure that they have all the options possible.
See that damage?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
we didn't.
It killed the shields.
We didn't see that damage.
Then they came back again.
That's the problem, Atlas.
Yeah, it's bad. It's definitely a worry. Effort's still sitting at half health, but he can do a lot of work with that. Can potentially Hex Flash his way over here as, okay. Fate gets in, looks for the hero play, finds a couple with the Emperor's Divide as Bao goes golden. Becca looking for Prince now as well, and I have a feeling this is a wallet story, but no! Prince tidies it up! Oh my god, the hero saving Live Sandbox in this moment! And now they're going to be able to get some real work done!
No way!
Don't worry this time! For Prince play, finds his way over here as, okay. Fate gets in, looks for the hero play, finds a couple with the Emperor's Divide as Bao goes golden. Becca looking for Prince now as well, and I have a feeling this is a wallet story, but no! Prince tidies it up! Now as finds a couple with the Emperor's Divide as Bao goes golden. Becca looking for Prince now as well, and I have a feeling with the Emperor's Divide as Bao goes golden. Becca looking for Prince now as well, and I have a feeling this is a wallet story, but no! Prince tidies it up! This no way! Left the Nexus and Live Sandbox say goodnight to the spring split and go